Hello, my name is Meghna, and today we'll be discussing about the topic a priori algorithm as a part of my digital assignment 2 for machine learning course. So we'll go through a brief introduction to the a priori algorithm, some concepts of a priori, how the algorithm works, and a problem in order to get a clear understanding about the algorithm. And then we'll also move on to an implementation in the RapidMiner software. So, coming to the introduction, the algorithm uses frequent item sets in order to generate association rules. And this algorithm is mainly operated on databases which contains transactions. For some example, this can be the collections of items that are bought together by a customer. It can be details of website frequentation or IP addresses. So with the help of these association rules that we get from the algorithm, we can determine how well the items are connected together. So to put it in simple words, the a priori algorithm is used to find the combinations of items that often occur together. So before we take a deep dive into what the algorithm is about, we need to understand why we use this algorithm. So we know that it is used to generate association rules. So association rule mining is a technique that is used to identify the underlying relations between different items. So this technique is actually used by a large retailers in order to uncover or understand the relations or association between items. For example, we can see that customers who go to purchase bread is also highly likely to purchase items like butter or jam along with it. And understanding this pattern can help the retailers in better product placement. So this is a classic example which shows that there might be really interesting association rules that are hidden even in our daily data. There are many methods to perform and get these association rules, and a priori algorithm that we're going to learn is one of the most simple and straightforward approach. Moving on to the concepts of a priori, there are some measures which help to measure the association, which include support and confidence. Support of an item I is defined as the number of transactions containing I divided by the total number of transactions. Confidence is the likelihood that an item Y is also bought if an item X is bought, and this is calculated as the number of transactions containing both X and Y divided by the number of transactions containing X. Also, a frequent item set is an item set whose support value is greater than a set threshold value of support. So once we have the minimum support and confidence value, we can move on to the algorithm. So I have given how the algorithm works in simple 4 steps. First step is to determine the support item sets in the transactional database and then select the minimum support and the confidence. And the next step would be to take all the supports in the transactions that have a higher support value than the given minimum support value. And then the third step would be to find all the rules of these subsets that have a higher confidence value than the minimum set confidence value. And then the last step would be to sort these rules as the decreasing order of lift. So it will be a lot clearer if we discuss a problem. So it is given that there is a data set with various transactions, and from this data set we need to find the frequent item sets and generate the association rules using a priori algorithm. So here we have the transaction IDs given from T1 to T9, and then we have the items column which has items ranging from I1, I2 to I5. It is also given in the question that the minimum support count is 2 and the minimum confidence is 50. So to solve this using a priori, the first thing that we need to do is we need to create a table which contains the support count. So the support count of each item is a frequency or the number of times that the item occurs individually. And we need to do that for each of the items in the data. So we create this table that, and we can call this table as a candidate set or C1. So we have items ranging from I1 to I5, and we write how many times I1 occurs. So in this data, we can see that I1 occurs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and we write the frequency for each of the item sets. Each of the items till I5. Now what we need to do is we need to compare and take out only those items that have a greater support count than the minimum support. So it is given in the question that the minimum support is 2. So we will select those items which has a support count greater than 2. Doing that, we'll be able to get the table L1, that is a frequent item set L1. In this case, we can see that all the item sets in C1 table is also in L1 because it has a support count that's greater than or equal to 2. The next step would be to create the C2 table, the next candidate set table from L1. So we'll do this by creating pairs of the item sets that are present in L1. So we'll be creating subsets of I1 with I2, I1 with I3, I4, and so on. And then we need to write down the support count for each of these pairs. So if we take the case of I1, I2 subset, we can see that I1, I2 has occurred 1, 2, 3, 4 times in the data set. And we need to see how many times I1 and I2 has occurred together and not individually. So the support count for that will be 4. And similarly, we need to find for each of the pairs and write the C2 table. Now, similar to the process that we did for step 1, we need to compare C2 and take out only those item sets whose support count will be greater than or equal to 2. So all those that has a support count that is less than 2 will be eliminated, and we'll be able to get the frequent item set, that is L2. So moving on to the third step, we'll be repeating the same process in order to get C3 candidate set. But before we write down the C3 table, which will have subsets of 3 item sets together, and write down also their support count, we need to eliminate those item sets that are not frequent. So if we take the examples of subsets of I1, I2, I3, the subsets will be I1, I2, I1, I3, and I2, I3, all of which are present in the table L2, I1, I2, I1, I3, and I2, I3. Therefore, it is frequent and we don't need to remove that for C3 table. But if we take the example of I2, I3, I4, the subsets will be I2, I3, which is present in the L2 table, I2, I4, which is also present in the L2 table, but I3, I4 is not present in the L2 table. Therefore, it is not frequent and we need to remove that. So we do that for each of the subsets, and we can see that in the C3 table, the only subsets or item sets which satisfy the condition is I1, I2, I3, and I2, I1, I2, and I5. So now that we have created the C3 table, we need to do the same process that we did for the previous steps. We need to compare the candidate C3, and we need to take only those item sets which have a support count that is greater than or equal to the minimum support count, that is 2, which will give us the item set L3. So the next step is to generate the candidate set C4 using this table L3. So if we check, and before we write the C4 candidate set, we need to check if all the subsets of these item sets are frequent or not. Um, Similar to the process that we did for the previous step. And if we check for the item set I1, I2, I3, I5, whose subsets will contain I1, I3, and I5, which is not frequent, and that is not present in the L3 table. So there will be no item sets for the C4 candidate table. Therefore, there is no need to create a table C4. And moving to the final step, we need to create the association rules. So if we take the final table, that is L3, we can see that we have 2 item sets, and we need to create all the possible rules from the occurred combinations of these 2 item sets. Here we can take the example of I1, I2, and I3 item sets for rule generation. We'll calculate the confidence for each of the combinations in this item set, and the confidence is calculated according to this formula, and we get the values as 50 percentage, 50 percentage, 50, 33, 28, and 33 percentage. So in the question it is already given that the minimum confidence rate should be 50 percentage. So from the calculated values, only the first 3 rules that are generated has a minimum confidence of 50 percentage. So only these first 3 rules is considered to have a strong association, considered as a strong association rule for the given problem. So now we can move on to the implementation part of the algorithm in RapidMiner. Here we have the implementation in the RapidMiner software. The first step is to import the dataset. So we have an import dataset option over here, but I have used the iris dataset that is present in the samples repository. The next step would be to input the data to the FP growth operator that is used to find out the frequent item sets that are present in the data. But the problem is that we can't directly input the data to the FP growth. We first need to convert it into nominal form and then to binomial form before we input it to FP growth. So I have used the discretize operator over here, and then the nominal to binomial operator in order to convert it into binomial form, and then we input it to FP growth. And the final step is to use this create association operator in order to get all the association rules that we need from the data. So I have already run this design, and this is the results that we get. From the results we can observe that if an item A4 is occurring, then it is also highly possible that the items A3 and A1 also occur together with it. So we have all these rules that are created. If we scroll through over here, we'll be able to see the support value and also the confidence value for each of the rules that are generated over here. And we also have the lift value. And if you move to the graph tab, we'll be able to see the attributes and all the associated rules. Finally, moving to the description part, we'll be able to get all of the association rules in writing. So if we take a look at the first one, we can see if the item A3 occurs, then it is also highly likely that the items A4 and A1 also occur together with it. Also, it has a confidence rate of 0.827. Yeah, so this was the implementation part in RapidMiner. I hope this algorithm is understandable now, and thank you.